And that, my friends, was a hit of marijuana oil. Actually, my second hit, because the first time I tried to do this, I had too many windows open and I had one window out of place and I really got flustered. But I did that. Why would I do that before George Thorogood and the Destroyers? Why? 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 Mandela quantum effects. Why? Well, I did that as a little bit of a shout out to one individual and one group, one company, one news organization. So I did that as a shout out to Recall Vector, um, because he pointed this out. I watched his video, saw the CNN. I'll link it because everybody should see it. CNN did a bit where their health, quote unquote, health department did a quote unquote study, long and short of it, where they determined that people who took just one hit, or one puff, one puff of marijuana, one puff, had false memories compared to the people who had just one puff of the placebo. The placebo. I don't want to know what they're puffing, to be honest with you, if it's a placebo, marijuana. But this was the most ridiculous thing that I'd ever seen. I know, maybe not the most. It's right up there. Right up there. And I just wanted to do that as a bit of an irony. Um, just a bit of a shout out. You'll see what Recall Vector did. And I thought it was funny enough that I decided I was going to do the same thing. So that is a dab rig. And not to be a copycat, but that was a dab rig. That's a dab stick. And over there is some dab oil. So now we're going to get into George Thorogood and the Destroyers. I'll post that link, guys. Everybody should go check it out. It's pretty funny, really. But George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Now, I did the Google search, and it's George Thorogood and sign the Destroyers. If you look here, but if you get right here, George Thorogood official site, it's George Thorogood A&D, the Destroyers website. That's what it says on the outside. Let's just see what it says on the inside. That can be our... Okay, George Thorogood, A&D, the Destroyers. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, that resonates. I'm glad I took two on this. So that resonates with this back here. So now we're going to learn, and I may have heard this before, but apparently George Thorogood and the Destroyers originally started out as George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers. All right? A and D. And that resonates with this album cover, George Thorogood and... Wait a minute. Delaware Destroyers. Why is that one so small? Yeah, I can barely make that one out, guys. Let's just go find my search. See if I can see this a little bigger. I should, yes. That might be where I'm at. So maybe I'm not going to see this one as good as I thought. George Thorogood. Wow. That'll give it to me. And yes. Boy, that's okay. So it's George Thorogood, A and D, the, and the are stacked on top of each other. Delaware Destroyers. Okay, good. I'll try to provide this link so everybody can see it. once you click on it, you can't so much. So that's what I thought. So that resonates with that. And then I think we already went over this Wikipedia page where they were started out as George Thorogood, A&D the Destroyers. Not a big Wikipedia guy, but it's good enough. It resonates with their website, and it resonates with their original album. Okay? And here is the baddest of George Thorogood and A&D the Destroyers. Pretty consistent so far, right? But how about haircut? George Thorogood and Sign the Destroyers on the cover right there. So there's an and sign. George Thorogood and Sign the Destroyers. And then I had to come back down here. There's another A&D, guys. Here is George Thorogood and Sign the Destroyers. Bad to the Bone and Sign. George Thorogood and Sign the Destroyers live at Montreux 2013. It's really hard to read what that is, guys, but they're live in 2013 and Sign. I believe. Yeah, that one doesn't tell me. It's the back of a cover. George Thorogood and Sign the Destroyers, Ride Till I Die. Here's the best of George Thorogood and Sign the Destroyers. And the last one was and sign as well, by the way. So there's a bunch of and signs. George Thorogood and Sign the Destroyers, and George Thorogood and the Destroyers live at, boy, that's awful small, but they're live. All right, I can tell that. So basically, you got a mix, and I'll provide a couple of those links. So, what do you guys remember? George Thorogood and the Destroyers with an and sign? Or do you remember George Thorogood A&D, the Destroyers, like the original George Thorogood A&D, the Delaware Destroyers? Or do you remember both? That they've always used both for some reason. So, here's what we'll do. We'll vote this up. If you remember George Thorogood A&D, you know what? Since that's their official website and it's A&D. So, I personally have a memory of the and sign and A&D. I could see it both ways in my head for some reason, so we're going to go thumbs up if you remember George Thorogood A&D, the Destroyers, like their official website, like their original album. And we're going to thumb it down if you guys remember George Thorogood and Sign, thumb down if you remember George Thorogood and Sign the Destroyers. And comment both if you remember that they've always done both. Now, I'm not saying that I remember they've always done both either. So maybe that's not even, I just remember both. I don't know if they've always done both or if it changed and I remember both sets. I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be it. Sorry it ran so long. I'll post Recall Vector's video so that everybody can see that stuff. So, and then I'll post all these other links. So, for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope I didn't botch this too bad. But I was trying to prove a point. Really, I was trying to send kudos for finding this. So, and send a little sarcastic message to CNN, who will never see this, but I really don't care. So, for now, you guys have a great rest of your night.